Hello, good afternoon. We're going to go through the startup sequencing of a MEP-803A military generator. This generator is a 10 kW generator. Steps we're going to do is make sure our batteries are powered, we have fuel, and there's a starting sequence you're going to have to follow in order to go through it. This is the front of the generator where the fuel cap is. The capacity of this is 9 gallons and it burns fuel at 1.125 gallons per hour. The batteries are located on both the left and right side. So let's go through the left side first. You're going to want to pull this back, turn it sideways, back, sideways, and it'll open up. Here's the left side. Here we have the battery and access to the filters, both fuel and engine oil. This carries a Rotella T1 heavy-duty diesel engine oil. This one's going on a 10-weight 30 right now. Now over here in the back is your fuel filter. It's got a valve on the bottom here. You'll twist this and this fuel line comes out over to here. And I put a container underneath there. Make sure there's no water in your fuel. You'll want to make sure you have checked your batteries, make sure they're fully charged. Also, you'll want to check your engine oil level, make sure you've got enough oil in there before you start it up. Alright, over on the right side of the generator, again, access is by flipping these two over and turning sideways. You've got your engine coolant level. You're going to check this, make sure it's above the minimum level when it's cold. Access here to put in more fuel. Got your starter motor here and alternator. Second battery. These generators run on a 24-volt system, and there's an internet connect cable that goes here to the other side. All right, so we'll close this side up. And you're going to turn this and close. All right, so we've checked we have fuel, batteries are charged, and we have oil in the engine. Last thing to check on is just make sure the air intakes aren't blocked up. There's 2 air intakes on either side near the instrument panel. I'll show you those next. That right there is where the air intake is, and there's a small filter behind, but it's not really an easily washed or cleaned. I guess you could, if it was dirty, you could rinse it off, but it's kind of a foam substrate. Similarly, at the right side in the back, you've got your second air intake. Exhaust is going to come out through the top, right up through there. Let's go up through the starting sequence for this. First thing is to approach the left side. We're going to open this up. And then you're going to check your dead crank switch. This will be usually in the off position if it's been in storage for a while. Otherwise it's going to go to normal. And we'll close things back up. And then we'll go around to the the back of the machine where the instrument panel is. So to gain access here, I'm going to fold this up and over. And now we're going to have to check behind the instrument panel using these releases here. And what we're going to do is drop these forward. And critical, you want to make sure this, which is a circuit breaker, is pushed in. In storage, you would pull it out, but to start and run it, it's got to be in. So just push it in with your finger. Next, we're going to close the access panel here. Next, we're going to make sure the emergency stop switch is not in, so you're going to make sure it's out. Finally, we're going to start it. So we're going to push this to preheat if it's cold, let's say less than 30 degrees outside or 20 degrees, and you're going to count it for 30 seconds. And after 30 seconds, once it's warmed up, you're going to go to auxiliary fuel, your prime and run, and then we're going to go to start. You're going to hold it there for about 5 seconds. And then release. On the instrument our fuel oil, amperage, hours on the engine, our water temperature, and our oil pressure. To shut off the generator, you're going to use this switch here and turn it to off. If you're going to store it for a long time, I would suggest going back in behind the instrument panel, putting the circuit breaker to the off by pulling it out, then going back into the left side and putting the dead crank switch to the off position.